Welcome in. Good afternoon. It's the Ticket Punchers here on 96.1 FM, 1450 AM, Big X Sports Radio. I'm your host, Roman Kelly, joined today by my co-host here, Curtis Phillips, a.k.a. Mr. Philly Picks, joined here shortly by J.R. Anderson as we take you guys up till 6 o'clock like we do every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday here on the Big X. Also live on YouTube and on Twitter if you want to find us there at the Ticket Punchers. Curtis, a lot to discuss. First show of the week. We've got March Madness ahead of us. NHL's back in action. We've got a World Baseball Classic final tonight. Soccer's been on. MLB Spring Training's been on. NBA action obviously heating up with the top guys in the league getting to their best level of play. So much to discuss, so much to look into with our realm of betting, and we're going to be getting right into it here today. But before we do that, I want to ask you, Curtis, talk to us. How are you doing? How was the weekend? How's life been treating you? And how have the bets been?
Yeah, going good, Roman. Had a great weekend. Had some nice conference tournaments that we got to watch over the weekend and kind of dissect how these teams are going to go during the tournament. Bets have been, on and off during March. So going to try to get things rolling with the first four games starting tonight. And then obviously March Madness starting this Thursday. So I'm very excited to dive into all of that today. How are you doing, Roman?
I'm doing great, doing well. Had a long weekend, doing the working in the station and also doing the St. Patrick's Day, partying and stuff.
Same.
I was going to ask you about this, Curtis, because whenever there's like key games on, in any realm of sports, but ideally something like a March Madness or games that are going to depict where teams are seated both in football and NBA, right? I can't even enjoy being out and about. My brain is just locked into the games that are happening. We're out Saturday night doing all the fun and whatnot, and it's like a NBA games going on, college basketball games that I'm missing out on, and all of that. So it was kind of an interesting weekend of trying to enjoy the time, enjoying what's in front of you, but also knowing that there are punches to be placing and tickets to be punching, and missed out on a couple games that I had good reads on, weren't able to get some wagers in, had a couple of wrong reads this weekend as well, but I'm excited to get into it. Philly, let's get right into the Baseball Classic to start the show off as we wait for JR to get into the show here as well. Sometimes he does have to join up late. This is right when he does get off of work. I am excited to see what you have to say about this because it's another top matchup in the World Baseball Classic we've got tonight, going up against Venezuela, the USA side. Obviously, USA favorites in this one as expected. I believe only 1.5 on the run line there. I'm on the under 8.5 just to start the show off, get into the baseball talk, get that out of the way here for the day and for the sake of the World Baseball Classic. I think of this 8.5 line, when you look at where these two teams have been as of late, I feel like this one's going to be slow. The pitching's going to be very methodical here in this one, and we're not going to see a lot of runs. I think that when you look at we I don't know if we had the pitching matchup already solidified. Yeah, Rodriguez going up against Nolan McLean.
Yeah.
I mean, I think McLean has everything he needs to go pretty, not necessarily deep into this one, but to get to that 5th inning without any issues. Rodriguez is an interesting one because I feel like he can go either way, right?
Yeah.
He's either going to not allow a run or it's going to be 2 home runs in the 1st inning with Rodriguez, and he'll get pulled before the 3rd. How are you kind of feeling this pitcher matchup in this World Baseball Classic final tonight? Philly set to go off at 8 p.m. tonight.
Yeah, Roman, I'm actually on the other side. I'm on the over 8.5 at -120. I'll just drop it as a jab, not official punch. The last few games, I agree. They've been low scoring for both teams. Venezuela comeback win last night. USA in a game versus Dominican Republic, where a lot of people thought it would be high scoring, was very low scoring with Skeens and those guys on the mound. But with one start each with Rodriguez and McLean in this World Baseball Classic, they both had pretty bad outings, and I'm expecting a similar outing out of both of those guys today. Both of these teams have had very good defenses, but I think both of the offenses are going to be swinging early and often tonight. So I think we get some runs tonight. It's going to be a little opposite of what's been happening lately. So I think both offenses get rolling tonight.
I think there's definitely going to be some runs. The one reason I did lean in the under is that I know that it's a short leash. As soon as you walk somebody and you throw a couple more balls, you're getting pulled in this one. And the entirety of the bullpens will get used if they need to.
For sure.
The weird thing about those kinds of games is that it can go either way. I feel like we're going to get a 2-1, a 3-2 kind of a finish, or it's going to be 7-8.
Yeah.
And multiple runs every inning. So you're probably right. I think it goes way over or stays way under. Which is a weird line, right? That's kind of a weird one. Typically means you stay away when you know that it's going to be an empty the bullpen, allow no runs. The team that can get those early runs is probably going to be the team that gets off to some success because the other team's going to go into their bullpen sooner, right? I'm still going to I'm going to lean under, but we're not going to make it official. If my handicapper here on the Ticket Punchers is leaning the other direction on a line, then it becomes a jab for me as well, unless it was something that I did a deep dig on. Usually those are only going to be NBA player props, though, right? I'm going to go with the jab under the under 8.5. We're not going to throw too much on, though, if Philly's rocking the other way. You do like USA to win, though, today, right, Curtis?
Yeah, I think USA does pull off the victory tonight. So, yes. So just a lean, but yeah.
Do they cover the 1.5 runs?
It's crazy. I don't lead. I could see us winning by 1 run like we did the other day. If it's sitting at a little bit, I didn't get to check the odds, or I forget off the top of my head. But if it's sitting at plus money, I lean that way if we're getting plus money. But if it's sitting at like a -1.5 at a -120.
-118 on the 1.5 line.
Yeah, I don't want to lay that juice.
Not worth it. Yeah, it's not worth that juice there. But yeah, if we got a +108 or a +110 or something like that.
That'd be lean. Yeah, but
I'd be all over that just for the sake of a sprinkle. Yeah. All right, Curtis. Let's look into last night's punches. We didn't have a show yesterday, unfortunately. Sometimes Mondays are hit or miss. We're not on the radio Monday, so it's Always going to be a later show because we can't compete with the YouTube radio station with the radio station's YouTube page, right? Mondays with Dalton Pitts is on 5:30 to 7. So if the Ticket Punchers do go live, it's only on X. So it's kind of a hit or miss with us on Mondays. Kind of just depends on the availability after 7 o'clock for all of us. And we all know that NBA games get going right around then. So more times than not, we don't always get the live show on Monday. But we have been getting the picks out on Monday, Philly. We got some punches tweeted out yesterday. Let's go over those. What'd you have on the officials last night?
Yeah, so I didn't drop any officials. There was one. I only had one bet that I was leaning yesterday. I just had a very busy day looking for beds, had my other show and whatnot. So I didn't want to just drop one play on X, but it would have been Jonathan Kuminga's over 4.5 rebounds at plus money. But I didn't get that tweeted out. So I played a little builder play and kind of just watched some games last night. So I didn't have any officials as far as yesterday.
We had a couple officials yesterday, and it's funny. I needed to start listening to my gut instinct, right? I do this beautiful dig on some numbers with Jalen Johnson going up against his matchup, Devin Booker going up against the Celtics with a couple of the different injuries on both sides there, and looking to, Devin Booker has these couple of guys out going up against this type of a team. He's typically going to get his points off, right? Yes, goes for 40 last night. We cover the Devin Booker 21.5. We cover the Jalen Johnson over 20.5, which was kind of a sweat because of the slow first quarter he had. I was on the Lakers money line, and I said, you know what? Let me not drop this officially here on a plus money play here, even though I could see it. I could feel it. I could feel the read there with the way that Luka's been playing, Reeves and LeBron also playing in that one going up against a Rockets team without Sengun. That's why you saw the line move there at the end. I knew there was a chance he wasn't going to play. I was on the Lakers. That was going to be an official punch. We changed that out. Put that on the triple punch parlay, and we took the Benedict Mathurin 20-plus points. That was also the run-in with Roman Big X Big Bet from yesterday, and he sold us. And it was a tough watch because he played what felt like the entirety of the second half. And I don't think that was necessarily the case. He played the last few minutes of the third and then all of the fourth, and he didn't get a lot of shot attempts up. He was facilitating, driving, bringing in defenders, and kicking it out to the open man. He did get one bucket to get close there for us, but unfortunately, we don't hit the Mathurin 20-plus. We go 2-1 on the night, Philly. Not a bad night, not a great night. Wish we could have got the clean sweep. Unfortunately, the triple punch parlay, we had the Lakers money line. We had your Kings team total over 2.5. Both of those got the win there. And then JR took Wembanyama over 24.5 points. And he doesn't cover this. But when you go and watch that fourth quarter there, it's like he had 3 wide open deep 3-pointers. He gets a lob. They get a stop, a steal. And it's like, geez, he had the shot attempts to go out there and get it, but he just didn't get over that mark because they were in the elite. They were in the lead the entirety of the time. And Stephon Castle was just probing the defense at a really high rate. Triple punch was right there, though. It was right there. We're going to try to get a little 2-punch combo out tonight because I don't believe we'll have J.R. Anderson joining the show up before we leave the radio segment of it. But let's talk picks, Philly. Let's get into this chatter for tonight. What was if you got to complete your thorough dig yet, or whatever you did get to complete your dig on, let's start there first. Whether that's NBA, college basketball, what are we rocking with tonight, Philly?
Yeah, I'll start off with NBA. I usually don't take a lot of Heat props. I haven't been lately anyways, but this is a team prop. I like the Heat team total over 114.5 at minus 118. We went well over this all 3 games versus the Charlotte Hornets. This will be the 4th matchup. Now, for closure, I did take this before Bam was ruled doubtful, but I still think we have all the pieces to still score 115 points. Still have Norman Powell, Tyler Hero, Mitchell, Jaquez, guys that like to go at fast pace. So I do think we still get this. We've hit this in 13 of our last 15 games. So we've actually been scoring the ball a whole lot, playing way better on offense than what we was the first half of the year. So that will be my first official punch. My second, we'll go to college basketball. The first 4 matchup between NC State and Texas. And I think this is just going to be a track meet. Race first to 85 wins this game. So I'll be taking the over 158.5 at minus 105 there. I do lean NC State to win. Just not a team I can trust because they're not good defensively, but they can light it up offensively. And Texas, Texas has lost 5 of its last 6 games, and NC State has lost 7 of the last 9. So I don't want to trust either one of those guys to win. So I'll just bank on points being scored tonight. So
I like it. I like that, Philly. I'm not mad at that at all. I've got a couple for tonight. I'm on the NC State money line. I know that you leaned that way. The untrustworthiness aspect of this NC State team, I feel even worse about that factor for this Texas side, who's been really, really up and down. The Swalen kid, he's a bucket getter. I think he goes off in this game. I think he gets to that 20-point mark, which I believe is plus money if somebody wanted that player prop line. But I think NC State gets a win here. Just ultimately, they shooting at a higher level than this Texas team. I think they're playing with more aggression than this Texas team, with a little bit more of that dog type of edge to them as well. So I don't like NC State, but I am rocking with them on the money line tonight overall in this matchup. Like, I don't like the team build and kind of the way that they operate. I think that Copeland kid at the point guard spot can be a real hit or miss with his offensive game outside of the passing. But I still like this NC State team to have that dog factor, that mentality going into this tournament-esque type of a setting and getting a victory. I'm also on the Yale minus 4.5 over UNC Wilmington in the NIT tonight, Philly. I think that the Yale is going to win a couple of games in this NIT tournament. I think that starts tonight over this Wilmington side. They just play harder. They defend a little bit better, in my opinion. And I think they get a victory and cover that 4.5 points tonight as well. That's the two officials I have. We have a Texan on the Game Day Men's Health text line, Philly. He says, did you just put Dungeon Caller Carl in the same category as Hobbit and Star Wars? That came in during the Mike Rutherford show. But Dave, teacher from Jeffersonville, also says, I'm taking NC State tonight and the under on every first 4 game. I don't know about the under in every first 4 game, but I do see the point there, just because it's that. Yeah. I get it. I will admit this. I took the under 147 in the Wyoming-Wichita State game. That's just going to be a jab. I did wager this. I don't want to give that out as a official punch just because I didn't have a lot of big points there that went into my reasoning for this. I just, 2 teams that I think that haven't been scoring a crazy amount here as of late going into this tournament kind of a spot. I expect a really slow start in those kinds of games, in those matchups. We got the Yale minus 4.5. We're on the NC State money line as well. Those are going to be the 2 official punches. We have the jab there with the under 147 in the Wyoming-Wichita State NIT game. Philly, are you going to be taking anything else officially that we haven't discussed yet?
Not as of right now. Those 2 are the 2 that I've been pretty eyeing all day. Haven't got to look at too many player props. So, yeah. Those are only 2 I have officially on the board tonight.
I've got one as well here. This one's tough for me because I feel like I may be just overthinking this here. I think the Suns win tonight over the Timberwolves. No Anthony Edwards in Minnesota, but I played the plus 3.5. We're going to play the plus 3.5 just because I don't understand what Vegas is trying to show me that I'm not really picking up on here, with Jalen Green playing, with Devin Booker playing, with Godwin playing. Or Jordan Goodwin, I'm sorry. I mean, the Suns have everything they need, have all of their core pieces that they've had in their wins. Royce O'Neal playing as well. I think that kind of negates the factor of not having a Grayson Allen in this matchup. I know Grayson Allen's a factor. He's one of those weird, like, insanely important role players to the way a team can operate, right? There's not a lot of players that have such a low points per game that can be the determining factor, right? Like when the Suns win, 80% of the time, Grayson Allen goes over his over mark, right? And when he's not playing, I get that kind of deters some people away. I can understand why that's the reason this one isn't even a pick'em spot and one of their 2-way important players like Grayson. I still think with Booker, Jalen, and Goodwin all playing, give me the Suns on the plus 3.5 to cover that and keep this one close without Anthony Edwards going up against the Timberwolves as my NBA official punch for a team prop. I didn't have any player props that I overall loved in the NBA Philly, other than a factor in this game, Miami and the Hornets. I like Tyler Hero on the 20+. It's minus 235. It's not a great line. I will be alternating a 21.5. I think he can get to that 22 spot against a Hornets team that, yes, they've been playing extremely hard. Yes, they're one of the best offenses in the league. They still allow a lot of points. They're still susceptible to letting guards get over. We'll go ahead and make Tyler Hero the 21.5. We'll go ahead and drop that as an official punch. If I'm going to play it, I might as well let you guys know that. and put that towards the record out there because I do believe he will get well over that. I see Norman Powell getting up there to the 20-plus point mark as well in this matchup, and what will probably be a loss for the Heat just because of the way that this Hornets offense has been looking. I think it's going to be a great game, though. I think it's going to be one of those games where the Heat offense shows its ceiling of going up against a mediocre defensive team. So give me Tyler Hero, 21.5 points over there on that mark for my second NBA official punch of the night. All right, Curtis, do you want to go through and pick these? Let's pick the all first 4 games, and then we'll go through the NBA slate as well.
Sounds good.
Talk us through these college games for tonight.
Yeah, we have UMBC going against Howard, 216 seeds. I've seen a lot of people on UMBC, but I think the line has flipped in Howard's favor.
I'm on Howard.
By a point and a half. I'm with you there. I like what I've seen from UMBC during their conference tournament. They have 2 dominant guards, but I think with all that money on UMBC, I just got to go the other way somehow. Howard's going to have to force some turnovers, but yeah, I'll lean Howard as well.
Both of these teams have been insanely hot.
They have, yeah.
Pretty much all of 2026. I think that when I looked back, UMBC's lost 1 time since January 19th in the calendar year flip.
Mm-hmm.
That's ridiculous. And I think Howard in that same time frame has lost twice. One of those was an OT loss, I believe. Both of these guys trending in the positive direction at the right time of year. A pretty evenly based matchup as well. I think if Howard can force those turnovers and knock down a couple of threes, though, they have the size advantage in this one. And I like Howard to get the victory as well. What else we got?
Yeah, and then like we already mentioned, Texas versus NC State. I think we both already mentioned we lean to NC State to get the job done there.
Yep.
Texas hasn't been that great as of late. Well, neither one of these teams, but NC State with that guard play, Darian Williams that can go off at any point. I think we both like NC State to get the job done there. So those are the 2 first 4 games we have tonight. And then the NBA, we'll start off with Heat Hornets. Like I mentioned, Bam probably doubtful for this game. Hornets laying 5.5 now. What is your lean there, Roman?
I mean, I don't like bad defensive teams in the NBA, but when your starting lineup, I believe the Heat, the Hornets, it feels like it's like a famous starting lineup here at this point. Yeah, Bridges, Kneppel, Bello, Brandon, all healthy. If Diabate's healthy, he is. There's no reason to kind of go against that statistically best offensive starting lineup in the NBA. I mean, they clearly have their defensive problems.
Yeah.
Susceptible to allowing teams to go on runs, susceptible to allowing transition baskets. The Heat have been pretty good in transition. Philly, I genuinely lean plus 5.5 with Hero and Norm, even without Bam, because every time Bam doesn't play, Khalil Ware is the best rebounder on the floor.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the one factor that can negate what this offense does so well for the Hornets, their second chance points and having that big presence down in the middle of the floor in those transitions. I lean Heat on the plus 5.5.
I'm with you there. We're already 3-0 versus the Hornets this year. Getting 5.5 now. And before our last loss to the Magic, we was on a 7-game win streak. So I think we can keep this close if we don't win it this time around. I'm with you on my Heat to cover that plus 5.5.
I'm with you as well. Pistons Wizards tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Wizards, I looked into this one. Wizards have like 5 guys injured. That's why this line's gotten up to 19.5 here on this one. I think this is one of those weird games where the Pistons win by 19.
I think the Pistons might win by 40 in this one.
They should. They should.
Right. For sure.
If it was in Detroit, I'd say like this is a Cade 50 ball spot here.
Yeah.
But it's in Washington. I think Pistons win by 20 to 25 right in there.
Yeah, I lean the Pistons to cover. Coming off a loss as well, I think they're going.
But I don't take spreads that big. We don't typically do that here on the Ticket Puncher. So if you're asking if we're betting it, probably not.
Yeah. All right. Next up, Thunder on the road versus Magic. Magic, tough loss last night versus the streaking Hawks. Laying 9.5. Who you lean there, Roman?
Yeah, Shea's back. He's back at that level we've seen him play at. AJ Mitchell also back. Hartenstein, Dort, all of their key pieces are all playing. And this Magic offense is just it can't play at a level of these kinds of teams. We've seen it. Every time they go up against an average team, they look like a good team. Every time they go up against a good team, they look like a below average team. And I think that continues tonight. I got the Thunder covering the 10 points.
I think I'll lean the other way. I think Magic, they just play better at home. I could see Thunder.
Huge discrepancy. Magic are a huge one of those like bad team on the road, one of the better teams in the NBA at home.
Yeah, see 21-11 record at home. So I think, coming back home, I think they play this close. I think it's one of those where, like the other day, where OKC was down for like 2.5 quarters to the Timberwolves the other day, and then ended up coming back. But I say Magic lose by like 7 or 8 in this one.
Okay,
I think they're close enough.
If Banchero can knock down some shots and play efficiently, they should be able to keep up with anybody because of the shooting that they've got. When he's playing inefficiently, that 40% deep mid-range shots that are just clanking, Suggs isn't getting anything from the out offense, then they can get really, really slow with the way that they go and create looks. If Bane's not going as well, they can be one of those teams that's not going to score 100 points some nights. Agreed. When everybody gets going on there, though, they do look like a well-oiled machine on their home floor. So I like it.
Agreed. Knicks at home versus their kryptonite Indiana Pacers, laying 14.5. Who lean there?
I would lean Pacers for literally the kryptonite reason, just because we keep seeing the Pacers kind of, no matter the circumstances, beat the Knicks. But this is different. Everybody's out. And if they're not out, they're a game-time decision as well. Shepard, Toppin, McConnell. I just don't think they have enough to keep this one close, so I'm going to lean Knicks. I think Knicks should cover.
They definitely should, but I lean the Pacers, man. I mean, they lost to them by 1. They beat them in OT. Played them last week, lost by 9 with a lot of guys out too. I'm going to lean the Pacers to keep it close. I cannot trust this Knicks team at all.
I hate the Knicks. I don't like betting them. I don't like watching them. All. This one's a stinky one. Going up against their kryptonite who shouldn't be able to beat them. They're going to win by 6, right?
Right. Just like they beat the Warriors by 3 the other day on their home floor.
Another team they should be able to be handling.
Exactly. I'm going Pacers.
All right. I can get down with the plus 4. I wish it was like 16.5.
Yeah, well,
I can get down with the
14 up on a parlay if we was.
True.
Yeah.
We could tease it up. Cavs, Bucks, Philly. This is an interesting one. It's in Milwaukee. Giannis is healthy. You never like a line that big in a game that Giannis is playing in, but is there any reason the Cavs should – we lost Curtis there for a second. Get him back in here. Any reason the Cavs going to lose to the Bucks tonight?
I don't think lose, but I think Bucks keep it close. I don't like the way the Cavs have been playing lately, honestly. It's tough.
Without no Jared Allen tonight, I believe. Evan Mobley's just soft, man. He's not added anything to his game in 2 years, it feels like. And I can't expect him to be an X factor in this kind of a game with Giannis playing. So I'm going to say that the Bucks cover, Cavs win.
Yep, I agree.
Suns, I already called this one. You know where I'm leaning. I'm leaning Suns to get the victory here.
I'm with you right there. I think Suns win outright as well. The Suns, they've been overperforming all season, no matter what the circumstances, who's in, who's out. I got Suns as well.
Nuggets, 15.5-point favorites over the 76ers. No Maxey, no Embiid. VJ Edgecombe will be playing, but Aaron Gordon's back healthy here in this one. And side note, Jab, I forgot to mention, I like Aaron Gordon on the 15-plus points in this game at minus 172. But who do you lean in this one, Philly? Any chance the 76ers can cover this 15.5?
I'm going to say, yeah. I think Quinn Grimes has the ability to keep this close. He's been playing lights out, him and Edgecombe. I think they can keep this close. And Nuggets, they've been playing with their food a lot lately as well. So even Mile High, I think there's –
I had this weird gut feeling that I feel like no Maxey, no Embiid. Edgecombe's kind of that do-it-all kind of a player anyway. He's not going to try to go out there and shoot 25 shots. The ball is going to bounce around a lot more. It's just, do they have enough offense? If this was in Philadelphia and the line was the same, I would lean there. But the fact that it's in Denver is the only thing that kind of deters me away. I don't like the 15.5, and I don't like the 76ers without Maxey on the road. So tough spot there. Stay away line here for us, but we would lean. Do you like the under in the 76ers game? Daryl Turner says here in the YouTube chat, Philly. That is a 236.5. I do.
That is high, man.
I do like that. I think the Nuggets win this one like 115 to 107.
Yeah, that does seem a tad bit too high there.
Just because the chance a 236 line on a potential blowout spot. If you don't believe in the Denver defense that much, then why is the line 15.5 points? Great read there, Daryl, or great notice on that line there being at 236. I am going to lean under 236 as a jab here. Probably something I take on a parlay on that Nuggets 76ers. One more game. Philly, Spurs, Kings. Spurs coming off a back-to-back, still 13.5-point favorites in Sacramento tonight.
This is crazy. I kind of lean the Kings at home. I know a tanking squad. But, yeah, I think just because Spurs coming off a back-to-back against a physical Clippers team, they might not have, all the tank tonight. I think Kings, just because they're home, I think they keep this within the 13.5.
I think this is one of those weird games where the Spurs are up like 6 to 10 points the entirety of the game.
Right.
And right at the end, it either goes really, really close and Spurs win by 4, or they pull away and get that double-digit 12, 11, 13-point cushion. I think that's kind of how this goes, just because it's a back-to-back spot and you're on the road. This is going to wrap us up here on the radio side of things. Shout out to Curtis Phillips Jr., our handicapper here on the show. I'm Roman Kelly here for the Ticket Punchers. We'll be back tomorrow, 5:30 to 6, right here on the Big X. And Curtis, without further ado, let's go punch those tickets.
Let's punch those tickets. You want to get a punch out or no?
No,
Let's go.
No JR today, so we won't do a triple punch. And I did, unfortunately, have a technical issue. I wasn't able to start the recording of this podcast right at the start of the show. And then, of course, I forgot until right now that I couldn't start it immediately and didn't get it. I was planning to get like 80% of the recording for when it was telling me it was going to be available again. And then I didn't click start, unfortunately. So we're going to have to make sure we get our punches tweeted out because we're going to have the listen back option on this one here. But Philly, I like those punches we've given out. I kind of like we're leaning on a lot of these games here. Also, I just wanted a quick note. Did you? I got a few profit boosts. I got one or not profit boost, bonus bets.
FanDuel,
Bet365, and the Score Bet all at different increments gave me out a bonus bet. So make sure you guys are tuning into those other sports books that you may not be using as regularly if you've got them, because check your email, check your little promotions tab on your email, because those books will sometimes email you and not even give you a notification that they've got a bonus bet waiting for you in there. I got a little 3-leg parlay I wanted to get your opinion on. I wagered this at noon today just because I had a bonus bet left over. I took Liberty plus 3.5 in the NIT over George Mason. Yale minus 4.5, which is a big X, big bet, or an official punch of mine here today. And then that under 147.5 in the Wyoming-Wichita State game. We took those 3-leg plus 631.
Okay. Let's see. So the only one I have a real opinion on is the Yale. I do like the Yale bet, the way they lost in their Ivy League championship, and that's a very good team. So I think that's a team that has potential to go deep in the NIT. So coming off that loss, I do think versus UNC Wilmington, they'll get the job done there. Haven't watched much of Liberty or George Mason. I know they're two very good mid-majors. I could see that probably going either way. You say Liberty's laying 3.5?
Yeah. I think they're the better offensive team from what the numbers suggest. Obviously, this
right.
An eye test going on in that tape.
Right, sure. And I mean, I took Wichita State the other day. I like Wichita State. Haven't seen much of Wyoming, but I mean, you're the parlay, the 3-leg cooker. So I think you're gonna, if it don't hit, you're gonna come close. So
that's the one. That's one we got in already as well. I had another line that I took here. Giannis 10+ rebounds. Those are wanted to give that out as an official. It's sitting at like minus 108 right now, minus 112, fluctuating into there. Pretty much an even line. No Jared Allen. I get that you worry about the blowout spot, right? You worry about Giannis with 8 or 9 rebounds and no reason to get back into the game.
Right.
That's the only reason. That's the only thing to me that's stopping him from pulling down 10 of them against the
Right. Yeah, he's gonna have to rebound versus the Cavs. They team rebound as well. So yeah.
We got a 2-leg with the Suns plus 3.5 and the Giannis 10 plus rebounds. I lied. It's a 2. I've got a 4-leg, and those are the last 2 legs alive. We took 2 soccer plays earlier in the Champions League. We got Chelsea, PSG under 3.5. PSG won 3-0, and then we got a Real Madrid, Manchester City under 3.5. Real Madrid won 2-1. So
sweat.
Yeah, got a little bit of a sweaty action. The last 2 legs are that Suns plus 3.5 and the Giannis 10 rebounds. So that was a bonus bet parlay. Probably should have threw that out there on the ticket punchers after I wagered it, but people see 2 unders on the soccer game and then 2 NBA games later on in the day. They're like, what kind of funky parlay is this? But yeah, just a little something we took for some fun earlier.
Those soccer games are sweaty when they score those goals. Like, man, geez.
Yeah, the late goals, the extra time, it can get real, especially on the 3.5, because that's like, obviously I hit the 2.5 on the Arsenal, on the parlay I posted with the Purdue money line the other day. Yeah. But those 2.5s against good teams, it's just too risky. One team gets a goal early in the first half, they might equalize early in the first half. Now there's
you got to play for 40 minutes.
45 minutes plus the extra time for them to mess up that last goal, and it's just bound to happen every time. But on the flip side, it's like with good teams, one scores earlier in the first half, halfway through, the other team equalizes early in the second half. Now they're both going more defensive. They're both kind of being a little bit more tentative with their attacks because nobody wants to get out of position and allow a counterattack quickly the other way.
Right.
You kind of see those, like if it's 2 good defensive sides, those 3.5 lines can typically be good odds and safe plays. And we hit a couple of those today. I've lost that same prop on a different soccer game this week, though. It's it can happen. I think yesterday I took a was it yesterday or was it Sunday? I believe. Yeah, Sunday I took on a straight bet. I took a 3.5 for Barcelona Sevilla. I thought we would get a 2-1 win or a 3-0 win.
Right.
We won 5-2. Right. We had it was cooked at halftime, I believe.
Right.
So that's just how it goes sometimes. But
yeah,
Champions League play is getting to that time of year. Those soccer games they get a little bit more intense because of the importance of each game when you're in those tournament settings. So. Excited to give more of those plays out going forward. We'll have maybe some tomorrow as well. Didn't have anything that I loved, but we'll continue to push out as many plays as we love as possible. Anything we've missed today, Curtis?
I think that's it.
Shout out to the viewers we've had here on the chat and
appreciate y'all.
Appreciate you guys a lot. Shout out to Daryl Turner with a question there in the chat. Nothing on the Game Day Intel text line, unfortunately, but that's all good. We'll get back with you guys tomorrow. And Philly, let's go punch those tickets, my man.
Let's go punch those tickets.